Hello, everyone. Welcome to Follow Up Friday. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Debbie Hoffman. I am a sales and follow-up coach. And every Friday I come on in my Facebook community, Power Up Your Follow-Up Community, to share a tip, something that you can implement right away to grow your business. They're very short and they're easy to implement. So I have a question for you. Do you have a process in place for pre-qualifying potential clients? Like, do you find that you make appointments with people? If you're a coach, maybe you do a discovery session, or if not, you just have meetings where you're getting together with people who you think would be a potential client. And then you go through your whole, process with them, whatever that is. And then at the end, you realize they're not your ideal client or they can't afford what you offer. Like, has that ever happened to any of you? It happens a lot to most people, right? So I'm going to share a couple things that you can do to pre-qualify potential clients so that you make sure you're meeting with the right fit people for you. The first thing I do is when people sign up for a discovery session with me, I have an application that they complete. I have questions that I ask to learn about them. And this serves a few purposes. One, I get to learn a lot about them in advance of the call. So I know what their issues are, what their concerns are, what kind of business they're in. And number two, it saves me time during the call because I don't have to ask all those questions. I already have all the answers. And I ask very specific questions about sales and follow-up because that's my expertise, because I want to know where people are struggling. So if you don't have a process in place for pre-qualifying people, I highly recommend you just use JotForm, Surveymonkey, it's free, and create a very short application and ask specific questions that relate to your business. The second thing I do, which I highly recommend, is I have an assessment tool that my dear friend Jane Duber created. The company used to be Smart Biz Quiz. It's called Magpie now. I'm going to put a link in to get some VIP treatment from them. You can let them know that I referred you to them, and they'll help you set up a quiz for free to see, so that you can see how it works. So what this is, I divide the quiz up into 4 sections, which are the 4 biggest challenges that I see people have with sales and follow-up, and I have them rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 10. It's very powerful. So again, I see exactly what their challenges are and where they're doing well with their follow-up. So I won't spend time with them talking about those things. And then the last part, which is so critical, is there is a commitment section asking if they're willing to take the time to invest in their business, to learn these skills, and are they willing to, do they have access to resources? Are they committed to investing in their business to get the results that they're looking for? And that really helps me see if this person is committed or not. Now, sometimes I find that they rate themselves low, but they rated themselves also very low on all the skills. So I use my intuition and I don't just cancel the call and say, hey, you're not committed, I'm not getting on with you. I would never do that. There are ways that you can do that. And if people are really, if you really get a feeling that this person is not a good fit, you can just let them know in a nice way that maybe the timing isn't right, or you don't feel that they're a good fit, or that you can support them. But if you know you can support them, but you're not sure if they're committed, when you get on the call with them, you just want to clarify that. So I say to people, I noticed that you rated yourself very low in a lot of areas that you're really struggling a lot with sales and follow-up, but you also rated yourself really low in commitment. So I'm just curious, if we find that we're a good fit at the end of our call, do you have access to resources? Can you think outside the box and come up with ways to come up with the investment? So those are things I highly recommend that you do. Implement the quiz, have an application. And then when you're talking to people, so I'll just backtrack a bit. If you're meeting somebody at a networking event and they kind of lean in that they're interested in what you have to offer, a way you can pre-qualify is to ask some very specific questions, just to ask, I'm just curious, I would ask, what's your biggest challenge with sales and follow-up? Or on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate yourself in terms of your skills? So ask some questions and be prepared with the questions you're going to ask, but only if people lean in. Because like I mentioned in previous videos, I do not recommend you go to networking events with the intention to sell and try to get clients. Go to these events looking to create partnerships with people, and relationships where you can be referring back and forth to each other. But if they lean in, you can ask that question. So if you're interested in seeing my quiz, which would be like the next best step for you, go to powerupbizquiz.com, powerupbizquiz.com, and take the quiz. And if you're interested in connecting, you can reach out to me for a discovery session. If not, you can just take the quiz and see how powerful a tool it is. So again, I'll be posting the link to check out Biz Quiz and to have a personal one-on-one meeting with this woman, Deanne, and she'll help you create your first quiz. So come next week live to ask any questions you have about follow-up. I'm going to check right now to see if anybody has joined me. Give me a second. And if you have any questions, if you're on with me now, just post a question and I will be more than happy to respond. Okay, so no one's here right now. So it was great being with you today. And I look forward to seeing you next week on Follow Up Friday. Bye for now.